Hi everybody, it's Kim and my friend Val, and we are live from Expressions of the Universe with your October weekly wisdom, or maybe it's for the month, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
And tonight we are going to talk about the new moon in Libra, Venus retrograde in Scorpio. We're going to get a little dark. We're going to talk about the thinning of the veil and ghosts and our own experiences with ghosts. And, you know, what else? Shadows, dragons.
Right. We'll talk a little bit about these things that are October and Halloween and give a little bit of guidelines for how to navigate your way through those
Halloween.
things. Yeah. And so just a little preface here. I came down to visit, kind of a last minute thing, and I texted Kim this morning and I said, I'm just going to go casual today. Oh, yeah, me too. And then I show up and she opens the door and she's stunning. Stunning in her like,
in my
beautiful
t-shirt.
makeup. No, okay, I'm wearing yoga pants. And she's camera ready, and I'm like, what the fuck?
And I said, I'm wearing camera makeup because I wanted to ask her to do this video with me. So
Well, you did on my way down here when I was already dressed like this. Meanwhile, I'm like gorillas in the mist, sitting out in a rainy soccer game all morning and didn't touch my hair.
I think she's gorgeous.
It's fun. It's just,
hey,
it's just
Angela.
funny.
So that's my girlfriend Angela that I was telling you about today.
Okay.
You know, we were talking about you, Angela, in a good way. How I ran into you at Ulta. Junae, hello. How are you? Guess what? I have some exciting news. I got a new Colette Baron Reed deck, and our lighting here is blinding. So hopefully you can see that. Oh, and the screen is flip-flop for some reason.
It is.
I'm feeling that maybe I'll pull some cards. I haven't even taken this out of the box yet. It's still wrapped. So what do I have about the new moon? Let's get started. We have a new moon in Libra on October 8th, which is Monday, and it's coming in around 11:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll be sleeping, at least I know I will be. And what does that mean for all of us? Well, new moons, they're always about new beginnings, starting something new. Libra is ruled by Venus, which is currently in retrograde in Scorpio, and we're going to talk about that. This is a moon that's going to bring a lot of strong karmic feelings amongst many of us. However, Geminis, Virgos, Sagittarians, and Pisces should probably be exempt. Gemini, Sag, yeah, because we've already cleared our karma earlier this year. So the rest of you signs, you will have to go through some karmic funk on this new moon. Let's see. Are you ready to transform? Because this is a transformative new moon. And I can't read my writing, but we all know that, even with my glasses. Oh, let go of the past. That's what we have to do with this new moon. So what's interesting is, for some of the signs, the fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, you could be experiencing jealousy, anger, or envy during this new moon, starting probably tonight, maybe even into Wednesday. This could be a weird time for you, but this is an opportunity for you to stop allowing the past to define you. Now, the good news for Geminis, it's time for you to get out of your head and get into your heart. Virgos, you'll get a burst of energy and you could rekindle friendships from the past. This could be a really great time for you. Sagittarius, it's time for you to gather your squad to make the world better, to make a difference in the world. But also you need to find some forgiveness in some of your relationships. And Pisces, it's time to take a vacation from your current mood, which is introvert or, maybe pensive even. And don't stir the shit at work, Pisces, because you need to just sit back and allow the events to play out the way that they're going to play out. This new moon, time to reinvent yourselves. All of us. It's time for us to all reinvent ourselves. Libra is an air element. It is the element of movement. It is also represented by the swords in tarot decks. It's ruled by Venus, which is love, beauty, and the senses. Libra and that air sign are our, I can't even talk.
Me, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Our thoughts, our words, balance, justice, fairness, and equality. It's time for us to restore beauty in our lives by changing our perspectives. And it's time for all of us to mature psychologically. So do you have any feedback on that?
I can say that, you talked about Sagittarius clearing karma.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's just because I have Jupiter moving through my 12th house, but this past year has been nothing but clearing karma.
Yeah.
And it's so much to the point where, like we had talked about before, it's where I kind of say, oh, that's karmic. Okay, I see, check, and you move on. It doesn't affect me anymore. I see it, I acknowledge it. Okay, thanks. You square it to where it goes, and you just keep moving on.
Right.
So it's to the point now where I don't get emotional when I cross a karmic path or when something comes up that I recognize as karmic.
Right.
I don't feel tied to it or bound to it in any way. I kind of say, okay, I see you. All right. Like I say, check the box and you move on. And so I don't know if that is a 12th house thing, like unique to me because I've been moving through it.
Well, 12th house is all about karma,
right,
and past lives.
Right. So I know that you had said that, Sagittarius had worked out their karma, and I don't know if a lot of this is coming from that, like I said, the Jupiter moving through my 12th house, or if
I think that's what it is, because I know a lot of Sagittarians that are like such bottom dwellers. I know that they haven't even attempted to start working out their karma. They're just still taking in all the shit that's coming at them and saying, oh, why me, why me, why me? I think a lot of signs do that. A lot of people do that. So you might want to ask yourself, if you're in that why me period or, frame of mind, that perspective, maybe stop and think for a second, like, it's not, these things are not happening to you, they're happening for you. And you have to try and discover why certain things, certain events are happening in your life. Like, that this year I've had a lot of losses. I even had another loss yesterday. And, it breaks my heart. It makes me really sad. And I don't think that that's karmic whatsoever. But I had an epiphany last night where I said, oh my gosh, you know what? Like, I made these agreements with these people and these creatures to come into my life at certain times and to leave my life at certain times. And that's what it is. And so, like, I am coming to a place where I'm like, okay, I get that. Their time was done with me. And right. I'm okay. It doesn't make it any less sad.
Right.
But I feel so much better.
And we had talked about this before, you and I, that, I feel, without having known those things about your chart, and we talked about this, but, that you're a revolving door.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Things are moving quickly. So things move in, they run their course, and they move out. Like, there's no free passes for a second round on that door.
Yeah.
You're in, you spin, you're out, and something else takes that slot.
Which makes me go back to the 12th house that Val was talking about. Jupiter is transiting her 12th house. 12th house is about karma and past lives and hidden things and the underworld and spirit. Well, the underworld is really the 8th house.
It's because you're thinking that my 12th house is Scorpio.
Right, yeah. So, but the majority of my chart resides in the 12th house. My 12th house is in Gemini is my 12th house. And I think I have 9 or 10 aspects, which include my prenatal solar eclipse, my pre-lunar solar eclipse, my north node, the majority of my planets all in this 12th house. So it's all past lives and karma. And then my rising sign is at 0° Cancer. And that's that. But see, the weird thing about my rising sign is that it's 29 degrees, 59 seconds, and Gemini, and 0° Cancer. So that's why Val says I have that revolving door, because it depends on, like, you know, what the time of year it is, what year it is, because things shift in the planets. So some years my solar return rising will be that 2959 Gemini, and some years it's that 0° Cancer. I feel more of that 0° Cancer, but it is that revolving door. Things come into my life and they go right out of my life as I'm learning my lessons or playing my part in whatever I agreed to in a past life on the other side. And that so makes sense.
Right.
And I think Dana Ross even mentioned that about that revolving door.
Right.
Speaking of, let's see who's online. I see Donna Renzetti joined. I love her. I was thinking about you, Donna. If you were there, I've been thinking about you and wanted to reach out to you because I miss you. So Donna is the only person that I allow to read me. But she moved to San Antonio, Texas this year because she retired. Okay. Yeah. And
well, I read you, but you don't ask for it.
Yeah. And Liz is here. Hi, Liz. Hi. And Melanie, hello. And Sue Hawkins is from Australia, in the land down under. Hello, hello. So actually, this is allowing me to moderate, so I'm not sure if I'm behind or what. I think that's all I have about the new moon. We were going to talk about Venus retrograde in Scorpio, and I think I maybe wanted to pull some cards. So, yeah. But we also wanted to talk about Halloween time.
Yeah. Want to talk about, since we have so much of this zero energy, and it's really important that, you know, at this time of year, a lot of people are pulling. The veil is so thin right now, and a lot of times people don't know how to navigate when that veil is thin,
right? Or
when we're, you know, because it's naturally thin around this time of the year anyway. But now with Jupiter being so high in Scorpio, you know, we've talked about just the energies are just very profound, and so, you know, just some words of caution and just some guidance for navigating through entertainment in
the entertainment within the Halloween theme, the October theme, and the entertainment that people get from this time of year. But we wanted to talk about some real ghost shiz, because this stuff isn't just entertainment. This is real. I have been horribly haunted my entire life. It's frightening. The reason why I'm in this house is because my last house was so haunted and it became violent that I couldn't live there anymore. We attract these things, but we were also talking about with Vino. Where's the
wine?
It's right behind you.
Oh, it is. With Venus being retro, what you're opening up to, and you know, like I said, the veil being so thin, it's really important that we're setting those boundaries properly and protecting ourselves properly, and the power of free will, and, you know, the number 3 in your belief and what you can believe into life and into existence. And there's just, you know,
can you elaborate on that? What you can believe into existence. So the power of our beliefs, our thoughts, and our words. I talk about it all of the time.
Right.
It manifests stuff.
It does.
And in the ghost world.
Right. So, so 3 is belief, but belief is also free will. And you have the gift of free will that is so powerful that not even archangels can cross it. They cannot intervene unless you are open to it, unless you allow for it, unless you ask for it.
Right, you do have to ask for archangel help.
So, I mean, if it's that powerful that, you know, God won't even intercede with your free will, not without asking for it, you know, think about the power of what you're creating in the world around you. And, you know, when it comes to people being haunted, for example, there are people that I know, friends of mine, or people that I've talked to that, they put so much energy and belief into being haunted, and this is not what you're talking about, this is something different, that they allow for it, that it opens them up for it, and it creates it. So it can, for example, the Catholic Church will say you don't believe in these things don't exist.
Oh, but their priests are sent to school to learn how to do exorcisms against demons.
But the reason,
because they know that shit is real.
Right, but the reason that it's taught, that they say this doesn't exist, is so that you will believe that it doesn't exist. So you're not open to creating it in your life or allowing for it and believing it into existence.
Oh, I never looked at it that way.
Just like with a child, you just say, that's not real, that's not true. And you move on, you're like, oh God, please don't look back. Don't look at it again. Oh, that's not real, just keep moving. It's that sort of thing. If you ever walk past like something happening on the side of the road, like, oh no, honey, that dog's just sleeping, and you just keep going. If they believe it, then it's fine. They can keep moving. So it's that sort of approach, it's that sort of methodology. If you believe that it's not true,
Did you just see that like move out towards me?
Then it will not be true in your life, and that's why that.
Well, I was telling you in the car earlier tonight that when I was having a lot of that ghost activity, I was watching a lot of those ghost hunter shows and Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, Paranormal State, you name it. And my mom, who was extremely psychic, said, you're attracting this because you're watching these shows, which opens you up to this paranormal activity.
Right.
And then when the veil is thin, which is a lot of times a year, not just this time of year.
Right. But particularly now because Jupiter's so high up.
Exactly. Spirits see, she's open to this. Let me go talk to her, because they're just dying to talk to somebody, or they're dying to haunt somebody. And there's all different reasons.
We were talking about in the car how, so if you want to go to a haunted house, how they have these events where you can go walk through an actual
houses are actually haunted too, because it's attracting that energy. It's attracting the spirits.
Right. And we were saying that there's a difference between, say, a haunt where, people are assholes in real life. They can be assholes when they cross over too. If they think that it's funny, they get a rise out of spooking you, then they're going to play with you a little bit. And there are some who will do that. And, like you and I won't be affected by that. We'll see the boo and we'll go, okay, and we'll move on.
We'll feel that energy and we'll know that it's just nothing.
It's whatever. But places that you and I are aversive toward would be those where, say, something horrible actually manifested in that space. And so there is that energy imprint within that space that is trauma.
Right.
And there's no reason to subject yourself to that. For example, Dean, my middle son, said to me this yesterday morning in the car on the way to school, Mom, I feel like I should go into one of those haunted houses so I can face my fear. And I said, baby,
you don't have to do that.
I said, you don't need to induce trauma to face a fear.
Right.
I said, you can see that fear from afar and love yourself through and say, that's not real. It's okay. Love yourself through and move on. And eventually it'll get smaller and smaller in your rearview mirror.
Right.
So you do not have to subject yourself to that trauma. And so it's the same thing when you take a tour to a haunted mansion, for example, or stay overnight in some haunted place. You don't have to subject yourself to that trauma. And that's where we were saying there's a difference between taking a ghost walk and you're like, oh, boo.
Yeah.
It's the she with the eyes.
Right.
And there actually being that energy imprint in that space.
Well, and I was telling Val when we were in the car, Bolton Mansion, which is in Levittown, Pennsylvania, I went there with a couple of friends last year to do a ghost investigation. Everything was good. The energy was good. We were getting a lot of activity. I did get some EVPs on my phone. And everything was fine. And then I decided I was going to go up to the 3rd floor by myself. And the steps would go up and there would be a landing. Then they would go up again and then another landing. And when I got to like maybe the 2nd step from the top, or the second to the last, ascension.
Landing.
Yeah. All of a sudden, when I put my foot down, a wave of chills came over my body, and I was so frightened, not by anything I saw or heard. My body knew that there was something malevolent up there, whether it be an imprint from a trauma or some sort of dark spirit. And I stopped myself and I turned right back. I couldn't run fast enough down the steps.
Yeah.
Because I was that frightened. Now, I do this all the time, but I will not subject myself to those entities.
Well, and
because why? I've been attacked. I've been attacked here on camera before. Yeah. It's not fun. It's not nice. So be careful what you're attracting. Never, never, never play with a Ouija board.
Oh my God. Right.
I just
lectured somebody on that the other day.
If you want a demon, play with a Ouija board.
And consider, for example, that's an attraction where people go with the belief that there's something scary and bad there.
Right.
So they're feeding energy into anything that would be malevolent.
Yeah.
So something that could just be a shadow on the wall. It's just a mouse in front of a flashlight casting a big shadow on the wall.
Right.
Something that is just something as simple as that turns into, it's being fed all of that negative belief, and then that creates more reality around that small energy. If you're putting energy into it, you're feeding it, and it's going to grow and it's going to expand. So, particularly in attractions like that, you are going to encounter that. It's been fed.
That is true. Hi, Megan. How are you?
I'm just coming.
Jill joined?
Oh, hi, Jill. I'm like, Jill.
So does anybody have any questions for us? Well, I was sitting here. I got a brand new deck from Colette Baron Reed. It was delivered this week, and it is her. I can't do this correctly.
This light is so bright.
I know. It's the new Spirit Animal Oracle deck, and I love animal totems. I wanted to make my own animal oracle deck. So while I was sitting here, I shuffled, I cleared the deck, and a card slid out like this from the deck, and it was
my baby.
Everything's backwards on the screen. It is Dolphin Spirit, which is such a magical thing. I know that dolphins carry the spirits of the dead into the other world, the other side. And I was in Cape May, down at Cape May Point recently, right after a funeral for my brother-in-law, and I took my sister down there, and we saw pods of dolphins. And I feel like one pod was carrying sugar into the other world, and then that next pod that came through, like a little while later, was carrying my brother-in-law through.
Because they're able to swim through the light water, come up to the surface, and also swim down through the dark waters.
Yes.
Right.
And this says, Dolphin Spirit, this and that are true.
And I might also add that the dolphin is one of my personal totems.
Yes.
And Kim and I had talked before, and I'll elaborate on it.
You want to talk about those?
If you want me to, I can.
So Val channeled information a while ago about our moon signs and the animal totem that is connected to that moon sign.
Right.
And I loved it. So if you know what your moon sign is, then you'll be able to match this up. If not, it's so easy to look up online. But go ahead and talk about it. Here, I'm going to move over so
I have to see what I remember. Okay, so
let's go through the signs.
I'll start with mine. So I am a Cancer moon, and for anybody listening, wondering like how would I know anything about Scorpio and the shadow and this sort of thing? I am a 0 Sag. I'm 26 Scorpio rising. My moon is at 8 Cancer. But I also have Pluto at 0 degrees Scorpio as well. And I have, I think, 4 zeros in my chart.
Yes, you do. She has a lot of zeros.
Yeah, pretty zero laden.
Your Chiron is at 0?
My Chiron is at 0. Eros is at 0.
Palace. No.
Okay, hold on. It's Pluto, the Sun, my Chiron, and my Eros.
Yes.
Are all at 0. And I have some 10s. My Saturn is at 10 Scorpio. So
my Uranus is at 10.
This is kind of like swimming in my waters. I love 0.
Which plays into that Venus in retrograde in Scorpio, which Scorpio, as per Chris Witecki, is represented by the number 0. at 10 degrees. So it's lining up with both of us.
Well, and Venus is sitting on my Saturn
right.
Now.
And Venus is transiting, passing my Uranus in the 5th at 0. So go ahead with the moon sign.
Okay, so each moon sign has its own totem. And there are some signs whose sun totem is the same as their moon totem. There aren't many. There's actually only 2. And we'll get to those. But your moon sign, I feel, is just as important as your sun sign. It's how you emote. It's how you process, as Chris Witecki talks about, all your states of emotion. I completely concur with that, because you feel your way through life. And I don't know if it's just because, like, my moon is in Cancer, but that's how I feel. So,
well, Cancer, I mean, the moon
is ruled by Cancer.
Is ruled by Cancer, which is also the number 2. It's all about the feelings and emotions.
Right. So the moon totem for Cancer is the dolphin. And it allows you to swim through, as we had said, the light and the dark waters. It pulls you safely through navigating those waters where you feel like you can drown, or that are very tumultuous. And, you know, as the moon does pull on the ocean and pulls those waters, and I'm getting distracted by these.
I'm sorry, they're beautiful. I'm looking for those other totems so that you can. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I can't speak about that and look at that. So yeah, your moon sign is as equally important, I feel, as your sun sign. So anyway, the totem sign for Cancer is the dolphin. After Cancer,
what are you looking for?
July, that would be Leo, comes after Cancer. I'm not as well versed.
Is it the lion?
It's the lion.
There you go. Yeah. So that would be this backwards camera. I can't get it. Okay, there we go.
I didn't prep for all this, so I can't speak to it very clearly. You know how I like to be prepared. But
you can even if you just say what each moon sign is and what their totem is.
The lion is only Leo, and the lion is one of 2 moon totems that is the same as the sun, and it's that lion heart. It is royalty. The lion, the sun, and the lion and Leo. That all is
about
love.
Strength and power,
and it's love. It is love. So I believe that Jesus Christ was a Leo moon.
Okay.
I think, you know, just through things
because it was that's pure love.
Yeah. I think that he was a Virgo with Pisces rising and a Leo moon. Just through
even though, okay, so I know everybody thinks that he's a Capricorn, but no,
he wasn't actually born December 25th.
I know, but I thought I've read in other places that he was born like at Easter time for real. So that would make him a Pisces.
Yeah, I think he's a Pisces rising. Yeah. I do. I think it's the Virgo purity that is of birth.
The virtue.
That's how he was born.
The virtue.
Right.
And of the Virgin.
Right. And I think that Pisces, that compassion,
was she really?
The ascension would
My mom would smack me right across the mouth for saying that. I'm sorry.
No, Mom. That's okay. So Virgo, the moon totem for Virgo would be, now we had talked about this, I would call it an egret. It's a big white bird.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I have that.
See if that's in there. Some of these came through a lot more clearly than others. Some were a little bit fuzzy, like I could see what the animal was and I could feel it, but I didn't really know what it was. But I think we pretty much deduced that that was the egret. Libra, I think I saw Libras here. Libra is the peacock.
Oh, I just saw that.
Now, again, this is the way that you process emotions.
There you go.
There it is.
So this would be for Libra, peacock spirit.
Now, remember, this is not for your sun sign. This is for your moon sign.
This is strictly the moon, your emotions.
It's how you process it. So you could either be demure, and it has its simplistic beauty in its own right, or it can be big and boisterous. And these are the ways that you process your emotions. It's not necessarily how you act out in the world. It's the way that you process.
Well, because Libra also has those 2 sides.
Right. So Scorpio is actually ruled by the dragon. So
I don't know if I have a dragon.
I doubt that there is.
Let's see. You never know.
Scorpio is the alpha and the omega. It's the beginning and the end. It is that 0. And
It's also North Node, South Node.
It's the underworld, and the dragon rules both the sun and the moon. So that's the second one. So the two that are ruled with both the sun and the moon are Leo and Scorpio, the lion and the dragon.
Gotcha.
Now we can get into that whole big deep discussion about the dragon and Scorpio and what that is. But everybody kind of has their own. Hi Kim. Hi Kim. Everyone kind of has their own dragon, and that's some people might say it's the dark side of ego. So it's the shadow of Mars. Some people might say that.
Oh, we talked about Scorpio being the shadow of Mars.
Right.
Because back in the day, Scorpio was actually ruled by Mars and not by Pluto, because Pluto hadn't been discovered yet.
I think that's where that was misconstrued back then.
Yeah, definitely. But I can see how Scorpio can be ruled by Mars, which is the planet of war. And it's also the ego, but I can also see how it's ruled by Pluto, because that's death, rebirth, and transformation.
I had written about this, and I'm not prepared.
Valerie and I talk about the shadow all of the time. That's the dark places that we don't like to look at. The cards that I picked this week, the Skull of Darkness, the Skull of Light, talks all about our shadow side, our blind spots. That's what the shadow is.
Right.
The things that we don't like to look at, but we need to, because when we look at our shadow and we get to know ourselves and our own shadow, it allows us to be more kind and compassionate to other people, because we can understand other people's shadows instead of judging other people for things that, for how they are.
It's not what you do. I know not what I do, and you can empathize with that.
Right.
But it's also important to point out that when you talk about the shadow, it doesn't just mean the dark things that you see like evil. That's not what we're referring to. What we're referring to is the blind spots inside of you that can come out as darkness and portray itself as evil in this plane. But that's not necessarily what it is. So, my shadow, for example, something that I just recently got through here, to do with, autism in my life and how it affects me, and, growing up as a child and being autistic and it not being recognized. So I would have to say, and I see these things in my son who is diagnosed or identified, I would act out impulsively in these socially inept ways, and I would be harshly punished for it. I'd be made fun of for it. I had these things. So I tucked that person
and
away.
that became your shadow.
And that's my shadow. So I laugh how I'm so awkward in real life.
Oh
and
my God. I don't
hilarious.
see her that way, because I just see you so
and
eloquent and free-flowing and funny and laughing. And
okay. May I just tell you a quick story? I don't even think I told you. Did I tell you about the cheese at Starbucks? This is what I'm talking about. So talk about. So.
Well, I thought you died in my bathroom today. And she's texting me from my bathroom. I'm like, you're texting me from my bathroom? And then
we're not telling this. No, we're not telling.
And then I hear nothing for a long period of time, and I'm looking at the clock thinking, and I'm like, we're going live in 4 minutes. Where is she? Where is she?
I thought I broke your. I did, but okay.
It's okay. Everybody breaks it.
No, okay, but the cheese thing in Starbucks, like just briefly, there was an awkward situation where people walked in that I didn't see, they didn't see me, and like I shouldn't have seen them, blah blah blah. So I didn't know how to act, so I wanted to get up, like, oh, I should just leave. They didn't see me, but then I realized, oh, I didn't get my drink yet, so I sat right back down where I was. I got up and sat back down, and then I thought, oh, well, I could eat my sandwich. My sandwich is here in front of me. I could do that right now and just be, occupied by my sandwich. No, that's okay. I don't wait for my drink. So, I had to be occupied so they didn't see me see them. So, I take a bite out of my sandwich, but it was hotter than I expected. So, the steam burns your nose a little bit, and I pull it away, and this long, and it wasn't one, it was two ropes. It wasn't string. It was ropes of cheese came. So, like a suspension bridge, how it dips in the middle? Yes. That's what my cheese is doing between my sandwich and my mouth.
So you're making your matters so much worse.
That's what I do. Right? So then it's falling. Not to mention there's like spinach leaves hanging off it and whatever else is in this freaking sandwich.
And do you know, probably nobody even noticed.
Oh, they did. Just wait. They did. So then it's hanging like this. So I'm like, oh God, what do I do? Because in that very moment, they called my name because my drink's ready. So now these people know I'm there because they just called my name for my drink. Okay, so what do? I just want to get my freaking drink and get the hell out of there. But I have this rope, this suspension bridge of cheese from my mouth to my sandwich. So I tried to grab it with my fist. So I grabbed it.
I knew you were going to say that because I've been like feeling like somebody needed to support the cheese.
So I grabbed it
from under.
I did. I grabbed it, but some of it fell in my purse because apparently I was eating over my open purse.
You and that damn purse.
I know.
She had more issues with her purse today.
So some of it fell into my purse and in my fist, and like in an awkward way, I'm holding it. So I'm sandwiched down, and I look up, and this man is just looking at me like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, ah. So I go up, and I get my drink. All right, be cool, ice cold, be cool. So I get my drink with my fistful of cheese.
Oh my God!
With my fixer, I take my drink with my fistful of cheese.
Oh my gosh!
And then so I I'm cool. I go to sit back. I just want to grab my shit and get the fuck out of there.
Mm-hmm.
So then I go over. I need a napkin because what am I going to do with a fistful of cheese? It's bad enough I've already engaged with people with cheese in my hand that I didn't want to go in the elevator in this corporate building
with cheese in her hand.
So I go over to the napkins. There are the people standing right in front of the napkins that I was trying to avoid the whole time. So that made me feel awkward again. And when I feel nervous, that's when all these idiosyncrasies surface. All these,
and then you just do more crazy things that make you even more.
So I go to grab a napkin. I grabbed all of the napkins.
And we're talking about Scorpio's moon sign of the dragon, which is the shadow. And we went off on a path. So Sagittarius moon.
Oh, I didn't finish my story. Hold on. So I grabbed all the napkins. I grabbed all the napkins. And then they saw me grab every single napkin out of this dispenser by accident. So I tried to tuck some back in
with some cheese.
And I said something so stupid like, oh, I guess I better leave some or something that was just awkward and dumb. And I shoved it in. I just grabbed my shit and I ran to the elevator.
I'm sure it wasn't as bad as you thought.
No, it was worse actually.
So that's her shadow side.
So that's a shadow. And it's things that you don't like to look at, but once you do and once you embrace it, then, so now I'm no longer ashamed. I can laugh. I don't have anxiety. So
right, but then when you see other people acting awkward, you're okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to judge that person. I have compassion for them because I know how they're feeling right now in this moment.
Right.
So what is Sagittarius
Okay, so
moon?
Sagittarius is the black bear.
Oh, I have that.
Is it? Oh, well, that's a grizzly.
Well, this is actually brown bear spirit, but it's about as close as we're going to get tonight.
So, Sag, when you think about their emotions, it can be soft and teddy bear, or it can be aggressive.
Because Sag is also a dual sign.
Capricorn is the beaver.
Oh, I have a beaver.
Is there?
I didn't mean it.
You don't say.
I do. And that just makes me think of a song that my daughter and I used to sing. Beaver 1, Beaver 2. I don't know the song. Anyway, stupid. Here's the beaver. Here's my beaver.
There's your beaver. So, Capricorn. So, the sun is ruled by, say, we talk about the goat climbing the mountain. Well, the beaver is also a steady worker and an ardent worker.
Megan, if you're still on, because Megan is a Capricorn, and she just helped out a beaver family by giving them some wood recently for their dam. But when I think of beavers, I think about the building of foundations, which is also such a Capricorn trait, and I didn't realize that you picked that.
Yeah.
She's not a Capricorn moon. She's a Capricorn sun sign. She's actually a Sagicorn. I have two Sagicorn friends, Marianne and Megan.
Sounds beautiful.
That they're on the cusp of Sag and Capricorn. But yeah, that's the beaver.
Yes, that's the moon. My son, Dean, is a 29 Capricorn moon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? And he's,
Autistic.
I know, but he's like such a great chef.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
like, he creates.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Just he's very good for,
Yeah, he's an emotional perfectionist.
Yeah.
He's his channeling his emotions into positive things when he feels overwhelmed that things aren't going according to his plan. Has definitely been a challenge for him. So that's Capricorn.
Yeah. Aquarius is I don't have a card for it.
Octopus.
The octopus is the Aquarius moon.
Right. And so, you think about those dark waters, crawling along the bottom. They're very intelligent, also can pull themselves into a shell and disappear. So emotionally, an Aquarius moon can be very cold, as we know.
Yeah, cold and detached, heartless a little bit.
My older son is an Aquarius moon.
Oh, my God.
He's a double Gemini and Aquarius moon.
Oh, God help you.
I didn't even mention my youngest is a 0 Scorpio, Scorpio rising, Virgo moon. 29 Virgo
She's
moon.
a unicorn. Her youngest.
Yeah, she's
adorable.
So where are we? Aqua Pisces.
Pisces. Not the fish.
Whale shark.
Whale shark.
So Pisces is a whale shark. It's a big
What is a whale shark?
So it's actually a mammal. Is that there?
No, it's whale spirit, but it's close enough.
Yeah. They can be scary when you see them just because of their massive size. If you were in a boat and a whale shark came up next to you, even though it is peaceful, it's scary.
Because
the enormity. They are huge, yes.
So why would you pick that for the Pisces moon sign?
Well, I didn't pick it. Right.
Okay, so if you're just joining us, Val is talking about animal totems that she channeled for different moon signs, and we're currently on Pisces. We started with Cancer.
Yeah, we did.
So we're kind of going in a weird... Yeah. Oh, my moon's Leo, so I am the lion.
Yes.
I forgot to mention that. I am a Leo moon.
Yeah. So
16 degrees. Oh.
Yes. Aww.
So why did you pick, or why did
it's
your guides
that one was
pick
one
that?
of the harder ones to decipher what it was, because I could feel that it was something massive. I could feel that it was kind of in the middle of the water. It's in light water, but kind of down to the dark too. I could feel this. But I didn't quite know what it was. And then through spending a little bit more time in meditation with it, it was in fact the whale shark. It was peaceful. It really is a peaceful creature.
Well, yeah, and a Pisces moon is such a peaceful energy. It's divine connection for sure. So, my daughter has a Pisces moon. 16 degrees Pisces moon, I think. Yeah.
16.
Yeah.
I
didn't even think about that.
Okay, so Aries.
An Aries moon
was it was the rhino.
Oh, I have that.
It was the rhino.
I have a rhino.
Full steam ahead.
Yes. Barreling through your life, but look how pretty that card is. With all the flowers and everything.
And also when you think about the horn on the front and how it's hunted for its ivory and poached and things, it is desirable. But it can be taken advantage of.
But it just barrels right
and
through.
you also, when you think about the rhino, it doesn't have very good eyesight.
No.
Either. So
that's genius.
Yeah. The more, and I don't, like I said, I don't have things in front of me and I'm not in that space right now, but the more you sit with it and feel through it, the more the connections all come together.
Yeah.
It's pretty fantastic.
That is genius. So Taurus moon.
Now, Taurus,
not the cowl.
It is
the
not.
Cowl. Oh my God! Listen to my Philly accent. Do you want some coffee and we'll talk? The cowl.
Okay, so Taurus moon is the elephant.
Oh,
yeah, it's the mama.
Do you know? I
think
would
of
think
the big
there would
mama,
be elephant, but I don't think there is.
Mama and her calf. Think of it that way. It's kind of like the mother, gentle giant
Mother
of
Earth.
Land. Of the land. They can dig through the mud and they're very intelligent.
Right.
But they also will stampede and they will protect if they feel like they're backed into a corner.
Well, I feel like the elephant is really the true king of the jungle, so to speak.
Yeah.
But elephants are so intelligent too, and they have such kind, compassionate hearts. they talk about, a memory of an elephant it lasts forever. Elephants never forget. That's why when, our governments have taken down sanctions of protection against these beautiful animals, it's so sad because they are more intelligent in some ways than humans, and that kindness and compassion, the way that they feel about their family members, is incomparable. Oh, really?
Yeah.
And what breaks my heart is, so when an elephant loses one of its family members, especially if one of their babies are taken from them or one of their herd members are, one of their pack are killed, they will grieve that other animal for the rest of their lives.
They have funeral processions.
Yeah, they have funeral processions, and they live to be 70, 80 years old in some cases. Yeah. So just imagine your family being gunned down in front of you, or your child being taken away, and how you would grieve for the rest of your life. Elephants do that too. Right. And actually, many animals do. What I witnessed the other day, I saw a little squirrel get hit by a car, and he was playing squirrely games with his friend, and his friend was ahead of him and already up on the curb, and he looked back and saw his little squirrel friend laying in the road, and he went back, and he was nudging him like, wake up, wake up. And I was on my way to lunch. I go home, I leave my dogs out. I come back an hour later, and the squirrel was still sitting on the curb waiting for his friend to wake up. So, if you don't think that animals don't have feelings, think again. But I know anybody that's watching this knows that.
Nolly wants to cheese Sammy.
I know.
It was the spinach, tomato, mozzarella one at Starbucks.
Cheese Sammy. Hi, Tara. How do you find out what your moon is? You can Google it. I think Cafe Astrology. No. There's somebody that has it. You don't even need your birth time. If you just know your birth date, which I guess.
Well, how would they know?
Huh?
Without your birth time.
But no, you don't need your
time.
Well,
the moon moves so quickly.
Well, the moon does move quickly, but you can pretty much get a pretty good idea.
Get it close, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you do need your birth time.
Yeah, I would think.
Tara, didn't I do your chart for you before? I thought I did. Okay. Cool. I heard the beaver comment. Val, I'm a forester. I was working near a large. Yeah, that's Megan who was helping. She's a forester. That's what she does for a living. She has her own business.
Your Mars is on my ascendant.
She has a Virgo moon at 6. So that's the egret. And I didn't have a card for that. Mars in Scorpio at 26 degrees. Yikes. Well, Mars is still in its shadow in Aquarius.
Well, she's saying that because that's my ascendant.
Oh, I got you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'll have to look it up. I don't have. Oh, you know what? I'll have to look it up, Tara. But I'm sure I still have your chart on file.
So. We just did Taurus.
Tara, I think Tara is, an Aquarius. I'm trying to think. February 1st? Either that or the 18th, because half my clients are February 18th, including my daughter.
Oh, that's the date.
Yeah.
That's the special date.
No, but I think Tara might be February 1st. I'm pretty sure she's an Aquarius. My mom doesn't remember mine, second middle. Well, Liz, I have your brother's birth chart. Your mom remembered Keith's time of birth. I'm sure she has your birth certificate because I think he got that from your mom, if you're still there. I'll have to look at your reading. Yep, I was right, February 1st. And I have hundreds of charts on file, and isn't it funny? I remember everybody's everything. But I can't remember your moon. I'm sorry. Okay, so we did. Gemini. Gemini moon, which isn't me. I have a Gemini sun.
It's the chimp.
The chimp?
Yes.
Oh, monkey mind.
It's very
the monkey mind.
Right. It's intelligent emotional processing. because we are talking about the moon.
Yeah, we are.
But
I don't know if I have monkey.
when you think about the chimp, it's intelligent.
Right.
Just as the elephant is.
Oh, that is true.
It has, the familial connection.
Yes.
The same. But they will throw shit at you if they get
Yes.
pissed.
Oh, hell yeah.
So that's think about, and it's a lot of back and forth too, with that Gemini moon.
Well, that's why I even think of Geminis as that monkey mind,
Yeah. So, when you're referring to the emotion, the way that you're processing all of your states of awareness, you can't help but still kind of get in your head, even with your emotions.
Yes. And what Gemini moon, Gemini sun, Gemini rising need to do with this new moon on Monday is get out of their heads and get into their hearts more. You have to start following your heart more, following your gut, because Geminis will drive themselves crazy with that monkey mind, that monkey emotion. So I love that. Then that takes us back to Cancer, which was the dolphin. In case you missed it.
It's so interesting because you've been talking about how you need to get out of your mind and into your emotions. And for me, I feel like it's been the opposite of that lately. My Mars is at 2 Libra, so I'm a very emotional ego when I push forward.
Your Mars is at 2 Libra. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so, so I was saying that with Mars being in retro, that was good for me because in this big transitional period that I'm in, I was able to pull my emotions out of it. And I was very productive when Mars was retro.
And that's funny because when Mars was retrograde, my Mars is 18 degrees, 18 next to a 9, which is action, in Virgo, which is about OCD and having everything analyzed and organized, which that's what I'm an analyst. Mm-hmm. I was done. The entire summer, I pretty much didn't move from this place.
Yeah. And
I loved it. I napped all the time. And as soon as Mars went direct, I'm like up and running. And I've just been nonstop. I've been working 20 hours a day for 3 weeks? Yeah. It's been since Mars went direct. I've been just nonstop because I can't sleep. My mind is I have ideas. I'm creative. Things are flowing. I want to give a big thank you to you for impromptu showing up today so that my house got cleaned. Because when she told me that she was coming, I'm like, no!
I'm like, this is what we talked about yesterday. I said I was coming.
Because all I've been doing is working and working and working. That, my house hasn't been cleaned, but...
Well, job well done.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's very homey.
Yes, that Mars direct. I was like, oh! And the OCD, the Virgo.
So I need to get out of my emotions and back into my head. Like, I need to be able to focus.
So you're in the opposite now.
But again, I have Chiron in Gemini.
At 0 degrees.
And I have my North Node at 15 Gemini.
And 0 degrees is everything and nothing all at the same time. It's a complicated number, a complicated degree. So let's see. All right, so I can't look it up for you right now, Tara, but I can, and then I can message you and let you know where your moon is. Thank you. Doubt it. Oh, Liz. Liz is a Libra. Her birthday is actually on Wednesday.
Happy birthday, Liz!
What's today? 13 degrees. Oh, that's why I feel so good, because I'm a 13-degree Gemini. Today's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17-degree Libra.
It's a great calendar.
Yeah.
You can buy me one of those for my birthday if you want.
Okay. Really?
You may.
They don't come out until December.
Well, it can be. I'm November 23rd.
I know.
So it can be a week later.
I'll ask Honey to put one away for you. But I think Liz is an 18, 17. Oh, you know what, Liz? You're definitely a 17-degree Libra because that nets to an 8, which is I decide, I commit, and you don't commit to a whole lot of things. I mean, some things, but I've known you for probably almost 30 years. So I would have to say that you are a 17-degree Libra sun. Oh, wait, you have your birth certificate. Okay, there you go. Yay, Liz.
There it is. Jot that down.
I will jot that down.
Oh,
where's my pen? Oh, wait, I have a pen. Wait, Liz. So 10, 10, 69, 751. I know your brother was born at 1:47 in the morning. I don't know why I always remember that. And I know that he was born at Boston General Hospital, I believe. And I don't know why I remember that. I remember random weird things. LOL. So, all right, we're about an hour in.
And we've been kind of jumping around.
We have been jumping around, and I really wanted to focus more on the ghosts and the thinning of the veil, because it is that time of year. And
we were going to tell some of our experience.
Yeah, so, well, I did talk about that Bolton Mansion in Levittown, and there is a lot of activity there. One of the weirdest experiences I had at Playwiki Farms, which is right down the road, I was invited to do a ghost investigation there by myself. They were bringing in a hired paranormal team, but they asked me to do a walkthrough to see if I felt anything.
Like a control group? Were you like the...
No, I was by myself, completely.
But I mean, so you would be like the secondary, right? The second opinion to what they found. You're like the...
No, not even that. So this thing was scheduled a month away.
Oh, okay.
All right. And when I was talking to the director of, this foundation, she said, hey, would you mind, I'll let you in that building, into the farmhouse. Can you tell me if you feel anything?
Oh.
And I'm like, yeah, sure. And when I walked in, so the building is from the late 1600s. It's old farmhouse. It's all on Indian land. When I walked into the foyer, I could feel like a heaviness, a stagnation of energy. And then there was a big, huge room over to the left of me with the big cooking fireplace that you would put the kettle into the fire. And I walked in there, and it was like I got smacked in the face by a brick wall, and I felt like an elephant was sitting on my chest. I saw a woman over at that fireplace stove in like a bonnet and a long, like, colonial type of dress. And there was two women, actually. One was white and the other was of color, and they were working the kitchen, like cooking together. And there was this ginormous man. I couldn't really see him, but I felt like now I'm starting to get with the throat. I felt like he was the one sitting on my chest, and I couldn't. And now I'm starting to have that again. But I had to get out of there.
Yeah.
That was interesting because what I experienced. But another time we came back, my daughter and I, for the actual investigation. And while we were waiting up on the ramp to go into the community room so that we could all sit down and talk about what we were getting ready to go into, I was out looking through the woods, and there are old buildings back there, old foundations from the buildings that were there like in the 1700s. So I'm watching this family through one of the windows in the buildings. Now, to me, the building looked whole, and I see a man in a chair, and he's got a pipe, and he's relaxing. There's a fire going. There's a little table, and it looks like an oil lamp, but with a beautiful type of like glass shade. And there's a window like where the table is. So it would be kind of like this, And he's sitting there. She comes and serves him tea. And there's a beautiful soft glow of light. And I'm just watching this man and woman interact with each other. Like he must have just come home at the end of the day, and she's serving him some tea to warm him up. It was lovely. My daughter then came up to me and hit me in the shoulder, and she's like, Mom, are you ready to go in? And that whole scene was gone. And here it was a crumbling wall. I could see the frame of the window, but there was nothing beyond it. There was like, it was kind of like, here's the wall, and there was something like here holding it up, but they were both crumbling, and that was all that was left of the building were these two walls, like that, just that corner. I was so freaked out. It was like I was in another dimension. I felt like I was watching a movie.
You were. Yeah. And you know,
I need to get a water. Yeah, but go ahead.
And you know, even speaking for myself, it is like watching a movie. Whenever I channel or when I'm listening to somebody speak, I call it a mind movie. It's you're watching something happen, and you are in fact in another dimension, even if you're right here. You know, it's slipping in and out. It's funny because, you know, I've always kind of done that, and my family would joke like, pull your string back down to earth, Val. Oh, because I slip out.
Do you remember when we were in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania? This is like another really haunted town. It felt like so Alice. It felt like we were in Alice in Wonderland. So
okay.
Do you remember?
You're referring to the alley, not the house.
The alley.
Okay, start there.
Okay, so we went down this alley up the hill. Valerie and our other friend Wendy went into this one shop, and I went exploring. And I got to maybe 2 buildings down, and I felt like I walked through a portal. I was in a different time. Now, I took a series of photographs. The only one that came out is the one that I took of you and Wendy in front of the store that you were in, because I went back up to go get them, to take them down to this weird portal. And so I can see the building behind the two of you. Mm-hmm. That was the only picture that came out, because, you know, those stacks, the rocks and everything, the rock walls, and there were all these sculptures made out of twigs, life-size deer. And remember, and they were like up into the rocks. It was really weird. I felt like I was in another world.
For anybody who is familiar with Jim Thorpe, I believe this was the alley when you're going up Broadway. It's to the left, and I think it was the one next to Through the Looking Glass and Horizons.
Yeah.
It's the alley that leads up back towards, I think it's called Race Street, up in the back.
Yeah.
For anybody who's
But Jim Thorpe is the entire town is extremely haunted.
Well, and it's very historical from the Molly Maguires. You know, the Harry Packer Mansion and the
I thought you were going to say the Harry Potter Mansion.
No, there's no Hogwarts in Jim Thorpe. And then we walked into, remember, as we crossed the street, we were going down Broadway, and there was another building off the side, and I was like, oh, I never really look at this place. I didn't even realize it was here.
Through the Looking Glass.
No, that wasn't. No. That's a restaurant. It was like it was across the street from that. It was a white building. Remember, it was, you go up to the second floor for something. So there was the first floor, and then there was something up in the second floor.
Right.
So as soon as you walked in, it was the hallway that was open brick, open stone, and then the shop with the bats, like the little dead animals.
Well, when we walked into that shop, I felt like I hit a brick wall when I crossed the threshold. And Val goes rushing in, and she's like, oh my gosh, there's dead bats everywhere. And I am still standing in the vestibule. And Wendy goes in, she does like a once around, and she said, I really have to go outside, excuse me. And I'm like, I'll join you. And she's like,
I'm standing there like, doesn't really feel very good in here.
And Wendy's like, you feel it too? And I'm like, I can't breathe.
No, as we were walking in, remember I said, all right, I'm going to pull it down. That's what happened before we walked in.
Yeah, I felt like we
hit for me.
So we're talking about different energies, especially this time of year. It was raining heavy that day. So also rain will conduct that energy, that electricity that allows spirits to cross over into our world. I know it's like very misty and foggy out and like a very fine drizzle. That's just enough.
You feel the electricity.
You can feel the electricity. It's just enough mist in the air to allow spirits to cross from the other side into our world.
Now I remember, because before we walked in, I leaned back to you, or to, I think it might have been Wendy, and I said, pulling the veil down, pulling that golden dome down.
I was the last to walk in.
Yeah, I said it to Wendy on the way in, and then I'm looking around, I'm like, there's dead bats in here. And I'm like, you know, just kind of like, even through my golden dome, I'm like, it kind of feels so good in here.
Liz lives in Plymouth, Massachusetts. Her house was built in 1726. Benjamin Bartlett.
Okay. I'm familiar with the name. Yeah. I have family in Massachusetts, more like the Springfield, Holyoke, South Hadley area.
That's the other way.
But I have been to Boston and to Plymouth and to those.
There's a great shop.
Salem, I've been there.
Great pop-up shop, Liz, in Salem. It's a little like pull trailer, and it's called something Studios. And I can't think of it. He makes his own rubber stamps.
Okay.
And they're all tarot cards.
Oh.
But he does window stickers. So you know how like you get the stick figure families for the back of your window? It's all tarot card. And I'm like, I want them so bad. I want Death. I want the High Priestess, the Fool. Because there's only like a certain ones. The Ace of Wands.
So who gets to be the Fool in your family? Who's that card represent?
No, these are all me.
Oh.
These are all me.
It's not your family. It's just you.
With all these planets in Gemini, I'm like 2 times all of those. So there's like 12 of me here all the time. My friend Debbie even commented the other day. We were having a conversation, and our friend Cecilia said, Kim, don't you get lonely being at home or being by yourself and you don't date anybody? And Debbie says, no, she's never lonely. She has conversations with all 4 of herself all the time. So, should we pull a couple cards?
Sure.
So, I know Liz and Melanie are on. Let me get rid of this book.
So, you know, just as a little bit of guidance for navigating through, you know, this Halloween time with the decorations, the movies, the commercials, everything seems to be geared toward opening wide.
Put up your protection.
You have to. You have to.
Well, isn't it funny that Scorpio is about protection?
Yeah.
It's almost like the universe is saying, put up your protection during this time.
Right.
Because the veil is so thin that, yes, you can still have fun, play with it, and explore, but you have to put up your protection. You need to keep your black tourmaline with you, and your smoky quartz, and your black salt, and your mugwort, and your sage, and your Palo Santo wood.
See, I don't have any of that stuff.
I've got it all right here.
But again, like I said,
I got my mugwort from Kim Leroy.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, she sent it to me right from Colorado. I got a huge bag of it. I use it sparingly because it's very special.
I'm not well versed in the crystals and the you know, sage and the grasses.
Valerie channels in a different way.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm picking this. This is so funny. This is for Liz. Liz, you will never believe this. I can't even make it up. It's Lizard Totem. Lizard Spirit. Because we call her Lizard. Isn't that so funny?
No.
And the lizard says, dream the world into being. Oh.
Is this not what we were just talking about?
Yes.
You literally bring things into life through belief.
Yes. Now, Melanie, yours is Dove Spirit. Can you see that? And Dove Spirit says, be peace. Let's see, does anyone else? Who else is on?
You know, I guess it's
Angela.
I think it's kind of funny because if I had been if I had been thinking through what the moon totems had been, I probably would have chosen something like the dove for Pisces.
Oh, right.
You know,
or wait, how about for Virgo?
Or for Virgo, but it's not. It's not what it is. But you know, you would have thought those things.
Angela, this is for you. Aww. Frog Spirit. So now this message down at the bottom says clear the clutter. However, whenever I see frog, me personally, I think of birth and rebirth and cycles, because like the tadpole, you know, from the egg to the tadpole to the frog, they go through those cycles, and it's also about that regenerative energy. And I know you're going through a new cycle, so this is good, but you may need to clear that clutter. New moon in Libra.
You know, and I think what's also notable is because it's amphibian, you know, it lives in both the land and the water.
Well,
it
yeah.
depends on both land and water. It
Right.
can't solely live in one or the other. So it's
that
dependent
fits.
across
Oh,
realms.
great. You're welcome, Melanie, and I'm glad that that fits for you, Angela. Is there anybody else that wants a card before I wrap this up for the night?
Oh, to me.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just reshuffle. Okay.
And then when you're typing in that you want something, give everybody a minute to respond.
Oh,
One
yeah.
for me in the meantime.
Okay.
Noodle.
I know, because I'm like, that's my Gemini-ish. Yes.
I was kind of laughing in the car before because
Woo!
that one's mine.
What
Whatever it
falls
was.
to the floor comes to the door. What is it?
2.
Oh, she got 2.
2.
Look what you got.
The Aries moon totem.
You got rhino spirit.
Aw, no way.
And whale spirit. So this is saying overcome any obstacle.
On it.
And trust the great mystery. I know she doesn't want to hear that.
No, I do. I do.
Megan, are you still there? Would you like a card?
There's new comments there.
The morning dove is one of my totems.
I love the morning dove.
Oh, hi, Ellen.
That was one of my favorite animals when I was growing up.
Morning
dove.
dove. Yeah, I have tons of them. So Ellen is Angela's sister.
Is this showing in groups or is it just through your?
It's
through your
this
site?
is on my expressions page. So, all right. So Ellen, brown bear spirit, take time out for yourself. And I know that this has been a really rough summer for you as well, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And I think you are a Gemini also, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. But this is saying take some time out for yourself. Take a rest. Regroup, regenerate, renew. There you go, Liz. She got the lizard where it says, you know, the new life. Okay. Hi, Mary. Mary Burns. Hi. Mary Burns, Beaver Spirit. This is about strong foundations, building strong foundations. And this is saying lay a solid foundation. I didn't even know that the card said that. So it's time for you to lay a solid foundation and start building things from the bottom up. With this new moon, I'm picking up that it's a new beginning for you, and it's time for you to discard what is no longer working and start on something brand new. Put your energy into like a new project, something new, because what you've been doing, it's just, no matter how much you work at it, it's just not going to produce any fruit. I'm going to say this for Megan. Megan Henderson. You got porcupine, Megan. A porcupine spirit. Porcupine. I was thinking, because when I was little, I used to call them porcupines.
Yeah.
Porcupine.
I just saw one when I took a hike Sunday morning 2 weekends ago.
Did you?
One was walking down across the path in front of me.
Well, this porcupine spirit says it's time for beginner mind. So it's time for you to reset the way that you think, your perceptions, and you know what else? And I didn't talk about it, Megan, but I had some good news for you. For Capricorns on this Venus retrograde, I have picked up some information.
You have new comments too. Well, you do that one.
New opportunities for new friendships are coming for you. For Pisces, this Venus retrograde in Scorpio is trusting your gut and go for the delicious. But that's not food. Like, go for the delicious life. Go for the, that that life that's delicious. Virgos, see the bigger picture. And Cancers will fall in love on a first date. And that's for the sun signs and the rising signs. Those are the signs that will be the most benefited from this Venus retrograde in Scorpio. All right, I need a rest like nobody's business. Well, there you go, Ellen. The bear's telling you. Oh, and Angela says she is. She is a Gemini, I guess. You are correct on both. Let's see. Wow, so spot on. Excellent, Mary. All right, so. Oh, how about a card for me? Oh.
I don't want to touch your deck.
I'll take this. I got Rhino Spirit also.
Yeah.
Okay, and what was that again? Overcome any obstacles. Well, I'll tell you, I have a lot of obstacles, but I just hurtle right over them. I laugh in the face of my obstacles, and I wave them goodbye.
As they zip right out that door. They have flung right out that
That's
revolving
true.
door. You have such an impermanence of things in your life.
I do.
And that's for better or for worse.
Yeah.
But
I've always been like that.
That impermanence is a consistency that you can rely on.
Yeah. That is so true.
Yeah. And I feel like this time around this life, there is a lot that you needed to accomplish. There's a lot of learning, a lot of experiences that you wanted to move through and learn from this time around. So you kind of put things on like warp speed. How can I ensure that I'm going to have as many experiences as I need? So it's almost like you installed as a safeguard this revolving door and moving things in and out. So I feel like it's almost like you're in fast forward of life experiences.
Well, yeah, think about it. From Memorial Day until yesterday, I've had 16 deaths. Yeah. Like in a 14-week period of time. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's almost
it always goes in cycles like that. Like 2012, I think I had 22 people die that year for me. So it goes in those really crazy cycles where chunks of beings, and it's animals, it's people, it's situations like jobs ending and different things.
And this is why you chose Gemini this time, because you wanted to move through things so quickly. It's almost like when you see a cartoon of a head spinning.
Yeah.
But Gemini has a dual personality. It's almost like, when a Gemini is talking, it almost makes your head spin.
Yeah.
And it was almost like you needed that quick moving cyclic energy of Gemini, and that's why you have so much Gemini, so that you were able to move everything in and move everything out and be able to accommodate it and to be able to move through it and learn from it.
Right.
So it's all of those things being served through one functional purpose. And you couldn't have done that if you had been any other sign or have less of a concentration in Gemini.
So to anybody that I completely drive crazy, because I do talk a lot, although she beats me. She beats me, believe it or not, and I love it because I could just sit back and like rest for a minute. But I apologize, but I am a talker.
Yeah,
I'm like, I
was kind of laughing in the car earlier because it was
for me.
Well, it was me, and it was and I thought, wow, I'm talking really fast, and this is so great because she understands everything that I'm saying, and I can just get everything all out at one time. And that's how I was feeling. Not everybody can handle that.
How did it go backwards? And you know what's interesting? So she can't stop talking long enough that even when she goes to the bathroom, and I'm one room away, she's still texting me from the bathroom.
Again.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
I think we're going to end. And you know what? We're going to have to do this again because
and organize it ahead of time.
We have to talk about your haunted house that you have sometime, because I channeled this little demon being that was taking pictures of her ex-husband while he was working on the house.
They're on my Instagram.
It was creepy as... I sent you mugwort, by the way.
Yeah.
I did send you all. Yeah. I sent her a whole entire protection pack.
Yeah.
And in that was some of the mugwort that Kim Leroy had sent me.
And you know what? We didn't even really talk about some of, as we had said in the beginning, the strategies for protecting yourself. one of the things that I'll just tell you from all this Scorpio before we go, because this is it too. Like when people try to hang up the phone with me, I just keep going.
She doesn't stop. I'll be like, I have to go to bed, Val. Okay, good night. 20. I will blink and it'll say 27 texts from Valerie.
But you love me anyway.
I do. But we did talk about
you love me because
I love you because she listens to me, and I listen to her.
Right.
The strategy.
Right.
I talked about crystals that you can use.
Right.
The
And
black tourmaline and the smoky quartz.
If you have none of those
mugwort.
things, you know, even just within yourself. Here's a little glimpse into some Scorpio here is it's almost as though you get pissed and annoyed if there's some kind of stupid shit like that tries to wedge its way into your dome, into your bubble, into your golden dome.
Yeah, but some people get so fearful they don't feel like they can stand up for themselves. You know, especially against a spirit.
The Scorpion singer says no. Like, I don't have any time for this. I have no patience, and I swear to fucking God, if you come close to me, I will blast your ass across River Styx and forget about you before you land. And with that sort of mentality, with that sort of don't even fuck with me, is a form of protection.
And don't forget,
anything that you might.
Some spirits feed off of fear. So you, even if you have to fake being strong, you have to do it. You know, I remember my cousin who lives right outside of Salem, Massachusetts, had told me one time, especially with shadow beings, I woke up one morning and there were 3 shadow beings at the foot of my bed. You clap like really loud,
right?
Like, and you say, "Be gone," or, you know, "Get away from me. I don't want you here in my space." But you break that energy in the air with like a loud clap, and they will leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I'll tell you,
you just have to stand up for yourself and say, like, "This is my space. Get out of my space."
And I'll tell you, for myself, and having lived in that house, that we'll talk about another time, but we had the professional crew come through. We had video footage and everything. I was really not affected because I don't believe it in my life. I have my life situated that does not exist in my life. It doesn't. I see it exist in other people's lives, but that's not part of my reality. It does not exist.
Right.
I do not believe in that in my life. Now, and you know, we were kind of talking before, that's why the Catholic Church would teach that you don't believe in these things. That doesn't mean that it doesn't exist for other people. I would never look at you and say, "You did not experience that because I don't believe in it." No, I don't believe in it in my life, and that's why it doesn't exist.
Okay.
Those are part of the boundaries that I set around my life.
Your ex, he does because he channels.
Right.
Also. And so that thing is attracted to him because he doesn't know how to put up boundaries.
Do you know how it disappeared? Do you know how it got gone for him? Okay, I know what this sounds like, but this is what happened. So he just got so pissed, finally got to the point of being pissed.
That's what you have to do.
That this fucking thing was like
you have
annoying
to get
him,
mad at them.
That he opened himself up energetically. He put down his defenses and let it approach him. And then he kind of balled up all of his energy inside.
Oh, and he shot it out.
He shot
it out too.
Yeah. And there hasn't been a single thing since.
Wow.
And it's not coming back because we believed it out of existence.
So just so you know, all of this stuff is real. It does happen in real life.
But not in mine.
But not in hers, because she doesn't believe in it. So anyway, I think that is it for us. Thank you, everybody. And going to say goodnight. Thank you for watching the Weekly Wisdom from Expressions of the Universe. Until next week, peace. Thank you, Val, for being on. Are we done?
Yes.
I can't even see what that says. It's the blue button.